You are listening to Imagine, Create, Inspire, the podcast. Join host Bruce Andrews in conversations with creatives. Every artist has a story, and the struggle is real to stay inspired and in the flow. Join in the conversation by leaving us your comments, and thanks for listening.
I'm glad to have on the podcast the lovely Jessica Meuse. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
So, Jessica, a lot of people would rightfully tag you as a nice-looking person, pretty to look at. But I would say without reservation, you're a beautiful soul. And the reason I know that is because, I think I really pay attention to lyrics, and I think you're a great songwriter. I mean, where are you coming from on that?
That means a lot to me. And I feel like as I've gotten older and hopefully a little wiser, that I've just kind of learned the power of words. Like, I know people say sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But one thing I have learned is that they do, and they can create core memories with people. And especially as a songwriter, I have realized just how much that lyrics and music can transcend all different kinds of boundaries, whether it's geographical or language. Like, I have fans who found me online, and they're all the way in New Zealand, and I have fans in the Philippines, and it's just it's very surreal, and I'm always grateful for it every day. But it's become a thing where I don't think that I don't just make music for myself anymore. I used to make it because I love it. I still love it. It's a fun gig. It's a fun job. But at the same time, even on my bad days where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, or I'm just exhausted because I'm a person, I'm human.
Yeah.
Then I have a fan or somebody comes up to me, or they tell me online and they say, hey, this song or this lyric, or even just the notes and the way that I sing them or play them, someone will tell me like that it really had an impact on me, or it did this for me, or it saved. People do say that certain songs have saved them from different things and different demons in life. And I think that alone, like that's a reason to keep going and doing it even through those bad days. So it does mean a lot that you appreciate my lyrics. So thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, Half-Hearted, that whole entire album. I mean, you were obviously working through something and writing
Yeah.
you're writing really transparently, like a really punch in the wind there. It's like it was amazing. I mean, and some of those songs, one that sticks with me that's just built like it should be a country anthem is "I'll Find My Way." I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I mention that song because maybe there are people out there who don't recognize you as a songwriter with a pretty deep catalog, and I think I'm right on that album. You wrote most, if not all, those songs, right?
Yeah, I wrote most of them. Thank God It Didn't Work was a co-write with two of my friends in Nashville. Jigsaw Puzzle is not my song. My ex-manager made me do that. I hate that song. I think it's stupid. That's just how I feel. I've always hated that song. I think it's too mushy, and I think it's weak. And I don't write like that. Like, I write songs like I'll Find My Way, and they're power anthems, and they're about even on those bad days, you can find that strength within yourself. And that's what all of my music, even my heartbroken ones, at the end of the day, they're about, but I'm strong enough to keep moving forward. And just for the record, I am still fighting for my copyrights on the songs that I've written on that album because my manager will not give them back, even though he's not doing anything with them.
That's just
So,
amazing. I mean, that's
yeah.
is that why? Or I guess that's elemental in why you're your own everything. You're your own manager, your own publicist, your own merch manager, your own. Am I right? I mean,
Yeah, you get stabbed in the back enough times and people promise you the world and they say all sorts of things, and it kind of makes you think about, why am I doing this? And like I said, there are a lot of bad days, and especially when you go through seasons like that with a bad manager that just wants your stuff to hurt you. Like, he's not even making money off it. He just doesn't want to give it back. And like, I'll Find My Way, you said you really resonate and really appreciate that song. That's one of the first songs I ever wrote.
really,
That's from way back in the day.
I had no
That
idea.
is an old song. That is one of my oldest songs. I had one of my first songs was like, What's So Hard About Being a Man? And I had a little crappy album that I made back in the day. And that was what it was called. But that was in the era of What's So Hard About Being a Man. So that was probably like 2000. That's probably around when I graduated high school, like 2009, 2010-ish.
You
So
know,
that's an older song, and it actually cuts even deeper that he won't give it back
oh, wow.
because it's like it's been copyrighted with the Library of Congress, and now it's a double copyright. But it makes you wonder. It's kind of like that innocent until proven guilty. It's like, why don't they catch that and say no? You can't double copyright that. Like that's obviously not your song.
You'd think.
But there is people get away with stuff, man. And I mean, I'm gonna always be a thorn in his side till he gives them back because they're not his. But
Yeah.
those are some of those songs are actually pretty old.
Well, that's kind of, to me, maybe as an old guy, having been a music fan and a musician of sorts over the decades. I mean, the difference in song catalogs now as opposed to earlier.
Hmm.
I mean, I look back. I mean, if I was to send somebody that link to that Half-Hearted album, I mean, it's new music to them. So
Hmm.
if you ever do, and I hope you do, get all those rights back. I mean, all that stuff is so fresh.
Yeah, well, I just tell people now, email me and I'll send you the album for free. I don't care. I'll email you the whole freaking Dropbox. I'll send you the little booklet, the digital booklet. I have handwritten lyrics in there. There's doodles in there. There's all sorts of fun things. Doodles from when I was in the recording studio and I was listening to stuff and I'd be drawing over in the corner because sometimes it helps me think. But like I'll send all of it to you for free. I don't care.
You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that. So
Yeah, send me an email.
I mean, sometimes when I'm going to have a conversation with somebody, I'm not one for scripts or I'm not a very good note taker. So I'll just write down bullets, about what they're all about. You got too many bullets. I mean, you're
Oh.
not, you're an artist, you're a graphic artist, right? And really a visual artist as well.
So as far as graphics, I messed around in college and didn't take classes I was supposed to. So I did take a lot of art classes because I didn't know what I wanted to do back in the day. But a lot of those were drawing classes. I did play a little bit with graphic design. I don't really care for graphic design. I think the farthest I go with that is Canva,
Yeah.
and that's fun. But I like to draw like monsters and dragons and weird stuff that got me made fun of in high school. But I mean, I still draw a better dragon than they do, so they can laugh all they want. It's fine.
So you were the best dragon drawer in Slapout, I'm guessing?
I would say so. Maybe wolves and like fluffy animals too, but I like mythology and folklore, so I would draw a lot of those things.
So do you ever have an interview or a conversation where people don't ask you about what the heck is Slapout, Alabama? Is that a real town?
I don't think I've ever not been asked about Slapout.
Yeah, I
It is a real town. We do have a little sign. It's hidden in the bushes across the gas station, and it does say "Welcome to Slapout,"
so
and
nobody.
it's one word.
Yeah, let's go there. I mean, nobody tells the story better than you in 1,000 words or less. Why is it named Slapout?
All right, we have a gas station that is called the Boys Store. It is now Piggly Wiggly, but we will always call it the Boys Store. Ironic enough, across from that store is the Girls Store. Has no relevance whatsoever. Both convenience stores with gas outside. But at the Boys Store, there was this little old man that used to run the whole thing. And when people would ask him, "Hey, do you have blah blah blah?" he'd say, "No, I'm slap out of that." And someone said, "That's really funny. Let's call the town that." And they did.
Amazing. And does it show up on the
Yeah.
kind of GPS Slapout?
I think it'll pull up Slapout, Oklahoma, because Slapout in it is so small. The school is called Holtville High School, Holtville Middle School, whatever, and that's where I went to high school. But Holtville's not even the name of the town. They just call it Holtville High, Holtville Middle, whatever. And then Slapout doesn't even pull up on the map, but we share a mailing zip with Deatsville. So the post office is like, it's honestly kind of far away for me. We're
Well,
out in the country.
I'm gonna say that
So
you are the best advocate and branding person for Slapout. They apparently have some problems with continuity, so I'm glad. I'm sure they're glad you're out there touting the town name.
I mean, it's marketable. It's really great for promotional materials.
Yeah, make a great merchandise line, right?
It's a win-win, I guess.
So on Idol season 14, that was you. I mean, so if you had that to do over again, would you do any different? Because you seem to have played it so well. I mean, you were completely yourself. I mean, I think that's what people like me continue when we think about you and that experience. We think, well, here's a person that just hit it with an original song and stayed themselves throughout the process. Would you do any different?
No, I don't think I would. I'm really happy with the way that everything worked out. You know, there were a few things behind the scenes that y'all wouldn't know just from watching television, but the real reality is behind the cameras. And there was a lot going on, and you can tell, especially if you had communicated with me at that time, that they were trying to cut me for about 2 weeks. And I kept beating the system for like 2 weeks. They wanted me gone at like number 6. And that's why they kept making these random save things. Like they had this week we have a surprise for you, and we're gonna allow you to save the one contestant, but the catch is that someone else has to go home the next week, and that's because they were trying to save Sam the whole time. Which I
Wow.
mean, everyone likes Sam. He was a great selling point for the demographic that watches that show. But it's really funny in hindsight. But I'm happy that I did everything the way that I did. Honestly, at this day and age, the way I am now, I don't think I would. I'd probably get so tired of the BS. Like, granted, it was a great experience. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I love all the friends that I made on that show. I've gone to weddings with people that worked on the show. They're lovely. It's just Hollywood, and I know too much about it now. And if you know too much, it sort of sucks the fun out of it, or you get like I remember I got so used to people telling me what to look like and how to wear what to wear. A producer told me, "Yeah, put her in a skirt." Do I look like I wear a skirt? I literally am in my glasses, a Braves hat, a distillery shirt from Indiana because I like it there,
Yeah.
and I have my coffee. I rolled out of bed and got on this interview. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Y-
that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
Do I look like I wear a skirt?
No.
No,
Only
no.
on a Dale's commercial.
That was a dress, and I didn't want to wear that dress either. They were like, we needed to, like, for the branding and the direction they wanted. I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, they were great people. I love the Dales people too.
Yes.
It's funny how you meet all different people from all different belief backgrounds and walks of life, and it really shows you that you can choose to get along with people. And it kind of makes me laugh at the way the world is so divided right now because, like,
Man.
how if we all thought exactly the same, how boring would it be? It would suck. So I'm really glad that I've gotten the chance to meet so many diverse people, even just as far as their thought processes and just the things that they believe in and think. Like I enjoy talking to them, and music has allowed me to meet really, really cool different people. So
I love that sentence. You can choose to get along with people. That is the dang
mhm.
that is the dang truth.
And the world needs to think about that right now a
Yeah.
lot.
The algorithms would say otherwise, right? I mean, they're gonna feed you what makes you mad. And
But
so
it doesn't, just because it's on the news or the algorithm showing you certain things doesn't make it all the way that it really is.
that is the truth. That is the hardcore 100 proof truth right there. No doubt about it. The so you got this gig with the Black Jacket Symphony,
Hmm.
and so I'm guessing you just show up and be your best self. Is that kind of a which for you is a perfect? It's like an easy chair. It's like you're on a surfboard riding the waves because it seems like the Stevie Nicks role is just like it's just you.
The Stevie gig is super fun because I already accidentally sound like her, and then when I try to sound like her, I sound even more like her. So that wasn't the hard part. I think it's hilarious because they're very scripted as far as what they say on the mic and stuff. So if you know anything about me, I kind of like I cuss like a sailor. I know I read the room. I know when not to say certain things. But other than that, like you said, Bruce, I'm myself, and I'm not going to hide that, and I'm not going to dampen it down or anything. But I think it's hilarious because I remember, so Sean is the Lindsey Buckingham, and he's amazing, rock star. But I was like, Sean, you do all the talking because I don't want to say the F word by accident. Like, I don't want to.
Don't we get all
You
charged
should
up? Your
not let
adrenaline
me.
going.
Don't don't let me talk. How about that? And he goes, okay.
So he takes it.
It was so fun. We had a great time on that run.
So you did like, I mean, I think that was one of the first or one of the few, I guess, of all the shows. If people don't know what Black Jacket Symphony is, just simply it's one of the best or most complete conceptual tribute series that's out there. I think that it's really legit. Jason Rogoff did a good job of vetting that and putting it on the road. And so I'm wondering though, is the one that you did? It seems to be one of the only ones that went like national, more or less, like 40 something.
There's a handful. Yeah, they only have a handful of their tours that they actually take, I would say, like on the road consistently for a month or more at a time. And the Fleetwood Mac is one of those where we go straight through like Texas and all the way through. We went to Albuquerque, we went up the coastline in California, and then we take a right and we randomly go through like we went through Colorado Springs, Grand Junction, Colorado. We went through Cheyenne, Wyoming. Random.
Yeah,
Beautiful place.
it is.
Y'all were having spring down here, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I have the windows open and I'm sneezing uncontrollably because allergies, but wow, it's so nice out. And then it was snowing on us. It was so cold.
That's awesome.
I bought a poncho in San Antonio, and everyone made fun of me. And then I was like, who's laughing now? Because I'm warm.
So the
I'm
bus thing
still
was pretty
I
fun,
love
huh?
that poncho. We have a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of people in a very small space, and there's a lot of different personalities on there, but it's just like any band tour where you become like a little weird dysfunctional family.
Hmm.
And it, like I said, music introduces you to a lot of different personalities and ways of thinking, and you can either learn from it and communicate with it and learn how to be symbiotic with each other, or you can be a butthole. And I choose to live with it and learn from other people and viewpoints, and I think it's fun.
Choose to get along with people. Yeah, I did the show with them in 2010 when it was like in its infancy. We did "Let It Bleed" by the Stones, and there was like 4 shows at Work Play, and it was done. So
Hmm.
no road work after
Yeah.
that. So it's really blown up for sure. So
Hmm.
as a songwriter, are you still working on? You got a project in the can? Are you working on something?
I do have some music that's completely finished. I'm working on getting artwork done. I have a new song called Ventura Boulevard that's going to be dropping everywhere, streaming everywhere on September 15th. I
September
randomly
15th.
picked that date because I had to make my artwork on Canva because I didn't have any pictures. So I just really wanted to get something out there because it's time. And I did a fundraiser a while back that kind of blew up into like I hit the goal, and then I chatted with some friends at Sweetwater, and I went up there to record this acoustic EP, which is what I had fundraised for. And then the VP of Sweetwater heard one of my songs, really liked it, and we kind of went down this rabbit hole of full production for a handful of songs. So these are the fully produced songs that'll be coming out. And Ventura Boulevard is the first of probably, I think there's four that I really like that I was going to put out. And then I would probably do something like the acoustic EP at the tail end. But I don't have the dates for the other ones yet.
Awesome. Well, how'd you get the Sweetwater connection? I mean, that's the music store, the music.
Yeah.
Everybody may know them. If you don't, then they're a huge online music company, among other things.
Yeah. And they're up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Actually, when I went to this place and they have really good food there. I'm a foodie. I'm like inside, I'm just a little fat kid for real. And I was up recording there and I had dinner at this place. I'll never forget it. It was so great. But I met this person named Tom who had played drums for a hard rock band called In This Moment. Amazing musician, amazing drummer, really nice person. That's one thing. Metalheads are some of the nicest people you will ever meet in your whole life. They're so nice.
Ironic.
And I forget what I was looking for. I think it was the airline had smashed my guitar and they fixed it, so I'm not going to say their name. But I had to get a new guitar because, like, if you're a carpenter and someone breaks your hammer, you can't really build the house. And I was like, I need a guitar. and I couldn't get the other one fixed at the time. I was in Los Angeles, and I couldn't even get the guitar home because it was so smashed and cracked that I was afraid to fly with it
Mm.
because of the pressure and stuff. So my buddy Tom, he introduced me to what Sweetwater calls a sales engineer, which is a fancy name for just your sales connection at Sweetwater. And my buddy, now my friend Josie, he introduced me to Josie, and Josie's awesome. He helped me find the right guitar, and I ordered that. And I've ordered a lot of like interfaces and stuff through him. And then I asked him about studios and stuff. It came up in conversation one day, and he's like, "Well, we have studios here." And I said, "What? You do?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, how much would it be to record like a 4 or 5 song EP?" And so he chatted with me for a little bit, and then I made a trip up there to go record. And I did that fundraiser for an EP and hit the goal on Facebook and went up there to record. And then the rest just kind of snowballed. And now I have a couple fully produced songs, and they've been amazing. I have nothing negative to say about Sweetwater. It's one of for a giant corporate machine like that, it's actually a very, very good company. And there's a lot of awesome people that work there.
That's really affirming. My experience with them buying gear for the arts counseling for our venues and stuff
Hmm.
like that has been really good with them. So great to hear that the back end looks just as good.
If you ever need a sales engineer, I can connect you with Josie. He's good people.
A little bit more about, how you do it. I mean, like, isn't it exhausting to be like the merch manager and the publicist and the booking agent,
Um,
and
I
then
mean, it's fun. I enjoy it a lot. I think for the most part, I have a good time, and for the most part, it introduces me to a lot of cool people, even when gigs don't work out. Like I had a person who worked for a Swedish record label offer me a 360 deal a few years ago, and I turned it down because it didn't make sense for me. But he's still one of my really good friends, and I like his girlfriend is a friend of mine. Like it, just because things don't work out doesn't mean you can't get along. But I mean, I don't mind doing it. I think the worst part is the BS that you're inevitably going to run into. But I feel like that might happen anywhere.
yep,
But in the entertainment industry, when people have seen you on TV and they see you active online and you kind of look at least half famous, a lot of people just want a piece of you for nothing, and then they still don't want to like pay you for your time because it starts getting into like being a woman in the music industry, being sexually harassed. Like I've had a lot of issues with that. Like I'm blacklisted in this whole festival route in Texas because I wouldn't sleep with the guy. And he's one of these people that owns a nonprofit and made sure he recorded himself helping people out of the water and stuff during Hurricane Harvey. Meanwhile, when I said I didn't want to share his bed with him, ew, gross,
mm,
that he said he was kind of pissed off that we didn't get more time together and he had a different girl over every night and I was sleeping on the couch because I didn't really have anywhere to go. But I think that would be the worst part of doing everything on your own because you don't have that barrier of being able to point at a manager and they can play bad cop for you.
yeah. We all have the story in our head, the story we tell ourselves about ourselves, and you seem to be
Hmm.
a good master of your own script. As your educational degree, was that your motivation? Is that to be your psychology is your thing, right? Is that what you went back to school
I
for?
love, yeah, I accidentally ended up in a psychology route when I was doing school. I didn't know what I wanted to do, as most 18-year-olds don't, because I don't know why they expect a child that is 18 to understand what they want to do for the rest of their lives. That is such a big decision. And I started in business, and then I transferred schools. I went and did liberal arts. I played around in graphic design. By the end of it, I have like almost 200 college credits. Like
Hmm.
I have taken a lot of school, and I ended up accidentally in liberal arts, whatever that is, with a minor in psychology. So then when I decided to go back during the pandemic and finish my degree, because I was really close to being done, I was like, well, there's an online psychology program. I already have a minor in it. I'm really good at it. I naturally gravitated toward those classes. I took abnormal psych before I was even majoring in it. I took culture and psychology, all sorts of things, social psychology. And so I just went ahead and knocked it out. And then I've applied for my PhD and stuff. I got rejected from all 3 schools, but that's okay. And I mean, it's fine. It's just part of my story. I am so used to failing, but the whole key is to just fail forward. So it's like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. Even though Thomas Edison was kind of a butthole, if you find out how not to make something, that's just another way how not to make it. Like, just, okay, well, this isn't the way to make a light bulb. Let's try this. It's just kind of a process of elimination, or just try again.
Yeah, man. I mean, you get your truth where it's spoken. Sometimes the source is always imperfect, but a truth is a truth, and that resonates. I mean, we don't learn anything from successes or mountaintop experiences. It's just a dopamine fix, But the process, I guess, who said that first? The progressive realization of a worthwhile dream is kind of where it's at. Enjoying the journey, that kind of thing. To find a way to do that is masterful. It's a life skill.
Yeah, I agree.
And you seem to be a Jedi of that.
I wouldn't call myself a Jedi. I just kind of deal with the hands I am dealt.
That makes total sense to me. Well, you know what? We're looking forward to having you in the October 6th. It's going to be awesome. Are you going to drop are you going to play that new song for us October 6th at the Song Theater?
You know what? I'll do my best. It's one of those, I wrote it during the pandemic, and I haven't really played it a lot since, because even though it's been, I don't even know, really like 1.5 to 2 years since things really opened back up, I have so many songs that I haven't added to my routine. And then I did the Black Jacket thing, so I've just been singing Fleetwood Mac and Tom Petty. I did the Tom Petty run too. Yeah. But now everywhere I go, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get away from Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty. Like, it always plays. I was in the bathroom yesterday, and Tom Petty Running Down a Dream comes on. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't get away. But I'm absolutely going to do my best to put it in the routine for the October show, because it's a long song. It's like 5.5 minutes long, and I always get anxious that I'm like, oh my God, is it too long? Are people falling asleep? But it's a really deep song. So,
well, that's the case with you in most of your songs. It really is. So that I think that's why people who are fans of you, like us, love your songwriting. I mean, so we can't get enough. So bring it on.
Then I guess I'll play it.
Yeah. So we're having you there with Sugarcane Jane. Should be a good night. Have you ever shared the stage with these guys before?
No, I haven't. I'm excited. I love hearing new music. I love meeting new people. So I'm really stoked to hear them, and I'm happy that they're going to be opening up.
Yeah, they're great songwriters too, kind of in that Americana, Southern rock-ish thing. And so it should be a great fit, fun night. I invite everybody to come out. It's going to be fun. Thank you for spending time with us. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate who you are. I know you. I'm not going to say keep being who you are, because I know you damn sure will.
I don't know who else to be, so here I am.
Looking forward to having you and seeing you again, Jessica.
Thank you.
Jessica Meuse, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to Imagine, Create, Inspire, the podcast. For more information on the Shelby County Arts Council, please visit www.shelbycountyartscouncil.com.